Welcome to Standard Chartered India Money Insights, a podcast series that brings you topical insights and local perspectives on India's markets from the experts.
Hi everyone, my name is Ravi. Welcome to another edition of our weekly podcast. Global equities trended higher for the third straight week, supported by easing trade policy concerns. US equities continued to trend higher, supported by robust earnings reported during the week, along with better than expected jobs data and a stable unemployment rate. Asian equities rallied on optimism of a US-China trade deal, despite China's disappointing manufacturing PMI and industrial profits data. Taiwan, Thailand, and Hong Kong led the gains with gains of over 4%, while China, Korea, India, and Singapore lagged with gains of around 1%. Emerging markets in Asia continued to see foreign investor inflows for the second consecutive week, totaling of around $2.8 billion, led predominantly by inflows into Taiwan and India. Back home, Indian equities continued the positive trend for the third consecutive week. The Nifty index was up 1.3% over the week, recording the longest streak of positive weekly gains in 2025, driven by improving prospects of an early US-India trade deal and strong foreign investor inflows. Broader markets underperformed the Nifty index, with mid-cap index up 0.3%, while the small-cap index was down 0.6% for the week. Among sectors, realty and capital goods led the winners with gains of over 2.1%, while FMCG and utilities lagged with cuts of around 0.5% for the week. Indian fixed income market had a stable week. Government bond yields fell across the curve amid falling US bond yields, RBI's scheduled OMO purchases, and improved demand for the issuance of new 10-year government bond at the weekly auction. The yield curve steepened, with the 10-year Indian government bond yields falling 1 basis point to 6.35%, while the 3-year and 5-year yields fell 4 basis points and 6 basis points respectively. Brent crude oil continued to trend lower, down 8% for the week to close at $61.3 per barrel, close at the lowest level since 2021, after Saudi Arabia signaled a move toward producing more and expanding its market share, while global trade war continued to weigh on demand outlook. The INR rallied strongly last week to close at 84.5 per dollar, appreciating 1%, driven by robust foreign investor inflows, falling US bond yields, and lower crude oil prices. Coming to the macro updates for the week, the first was on India's industrial production, which improved to a growth of 3% year-on-year in March of 2025, compared to a downwardly revised 2.7% growth recorded previous month. Manufacturing output advanced 3% compared to 2.8% last month. Electricity generation grew 6.3%, mining activity rose 0.4%, capital goods up 2.4%, while consumer non-durables fell 4.7%. For fiscal year 2025, industrial output rose 4%, slowing from the pace of 5.9% growth recorded in fiscal 2024. The second data was on India's manufacturing PMI, which rose to 58.2 in April of 2025 compared to 58.1 recorded in the previous month. Output grew at the fastest pace since June of 2024, driven by robust domestic and foreign demand. International orders also recorded the second steepest pace of rise since March of 2011, boosting sales and supporting solid job creation. Purchasing activity surged alongside new orders, lifting input inventories to an 8-month high, while post-production stocks fell at the fastest pace in nearly 3.5 years. On prices, output charges rose at the fastest pace in October of 2013, even as input cost inflation remained moderate. Finally, business confidence stayed strong, underpinned by demand strength, marketing efforts, and new client inquiries. At this point, I'll take a pause, and thank you as always for listening. If you enjoyed this podcast, please like and subscribe. Have a great week ahead.
Thank you for listening to Standard Chartered India Money Insights. Stay tuned for the latest updates and market trends by subscribing to our podcast. For more information, reach out to your Standard Chartered Relationship Manager or visit www.se.com/in.